they have some sense of shape left.
They're approaching. That's very forward of them.
Let us present a dignified silence.
Certainly, it's the only thing to do now.
Dignified silence seems to produce an unpleasant effect.
A most distasteful one.
But we will not be the first to speak.
Certainly not.
Mr. Worthing, I have something very particular to say to you, but depends on your reply.
Gwendolyn, your common sense is invaluable.
Mr. Moncrief, kindly answer me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
In order that I may have the opportunity of meeting you.
That certainly seems a satisfactory explanation, does it not?
Well, yes, dear, if you can believe him.
I do. But that does not affect the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True. In matters of grave importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. Mr. Worthing, what explanation can you have for pretending to have a brother? Was it in order that you might have the opportunity of coming up to town to see me as often as possible?
Can you doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
Now is not the moment for German skepticism. Their explanations appear to be quite satisfactory, especially Mr. Worthing's, that has the stamp of truth upon it.
I am more than content with what Mr. Moncrief said. Something in his voice inspires absolute credulity.
Then you think we should forgive them?
Yes!
I mean, no! True. I have forgot there are principles at stake that one cannot surrender. Which of us should tell them? The test is not a pleasant one.
Could we not both speak at the same time?
An admirable idea. Will you take the time from me? Certainly. Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That is all.
Our Christian names? Is that all? But we're going to be christened this afternoon. Oh.
For my sake, you're prepared to do this terrible thing.
I am.
Oh, please me, you are ready to face this fearful ordeal.
I am.
Darling!
Darling!
Lady Brack.
Oh, no.
Gwendolyn! What does this mean?
Merely that I am engaged to Mr. Worthing, Mama.
Come here! Sit down! Immediately! Hesitation of any kind is a sign of mental decay in the young, of physical weakness in the old. Apprised, sir, of my daughter's sudden flight by her trusty and now forthcoming maid, I followed her at once by a long luggage train. Of course, you will clearly understand that all communication between yourself and my daughter must cease immediately. From this moment on this point, as on be at all points, I am firm.
I am engaged to be married to Gwendolyn, Lady Brack.
In that regard, after all,
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
may I ask who lives in this house that your England friend Mr. Bunbury resides?
Oh, no, Bunbury doesn't live here. Bunbury is somewhere else at the present. In fact, Bunbury's dead.
Dear, well, when did Mr. Bunbury die?
I killed Bunbury this afternoon. Bunbury died this afternoon.
What did he die of?
Bunbury was quite exploded.
Exploded? Was he the victim of a revolutionary outrage? I was unaware that Mr. Bunbury was interested in social legislation. If so, he is well punished for his morbidity.
No, Bunbury's found out. Bunbury found out from his doctors that he could not live, so he died.
He seems to have great confidence in the opinion of his physicians. I am glad, however, that he made up his mind at the last to some definite course of action and acted under proper medical advice. And now if I get rid of Mr. Bunbury, May I ask Mr. Worthing, who's this young person whose hand my nephew Algernon is now holding in what seems to be most peculiarly unnecessary manner?
That lady is Miss Cecily Cardew, my ward.
Cecily and I are engaged to be married, Aunt Augusta.
I beg your pardon.
Mr. Moncrief and I are engaged to be married, Lady.
I don't know whether there's anything peculiarly exciting in the air of this particular part of Hertfordshire, but the number of engagements that go on seems to me to be considerably above the proper average that statistics have laid down for our guidance. I think some preliminary inquiry on my part might be out of place. Mr. Worthing, is Miss Cardew at all connected with any larger railway stations in London? Oh, I merely desire information. Until yesterday, I had no idea there were people or families whose origin was a terminus.
Miss Cardew is the granddaughter of the late Mr. Thomas Cardew, 149 Belbrook Square, SW, Gervais Park, Dorking, Surrey, and the Sporran, Fifeshire, NB.
Oh. Well, that sounds unsatisfactory. 3 addresses always inspire confidence, even in tradesmen. But what proof have I of their authenticity?
I have carefully preserved the courtyards of the period. They are open to your inspection, Mr. David Gregg.
I have no strange errors in that publication.
I have also in my possession, you'll be pleased to hear, certificates of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, confirmation, vaccination, registration, and the measles. Both the German and the English variety.
A life crowded with incident, I see. Though perhaps somewhat too exciting for a young girl. I am not myself in favor of premature experiences. When the time approaches for our departure, we have not a moment to lose. As a matter of form, Mr. Worthing, I'd better ask you if Miss Cardew has any little fortune.
About £130,000 in the bank. That is all. Goodbye, Lady Bracknell. So pleased to have seen you.
A moment, Mr. Worthing. £130,000. Oh, Miss Cardew! Seems a most attractive young lady to me. Now that I look at her. Come here, dear. Oh, pretty child. Your dress is sadly simple, and your hair seems almost as nature might have left it, but we can soon alter all of that. A thoroughly experienced French maid can produce a really marvelous result in a very brief space of time. I remember recommending one to young Lady Lansing. You remember Lady Lansing? Yes. And after 3 months, her own husband did not know her.
And after 6 months, nobody knew her.
Kindly turn round, sweet child. The other side is what I want. Yes, quite as I expected. There are distinct social possibilities in your profile. The two points in our age are its want of principle and its want of profile. And a chin a little higher, dear. Oh, style largely depends on the way the chin is worn. Oh, they're worn very high just at present. Yeah? I think my best.
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
There are distinct social possibilities in Miss Cardew's profile.
Cecily is the sweetest, dearest, prettiest girl in the whole world. I don't care 2 pence for the social possibilities.
Never speak disrespectfully of society, Algernon. Only people who can't get into it do that. My dear child, of course you know that Algernon has nothing but his debts to depend upon. But I do not approve of mercenary marriages. When I married Lord Bracknell, I had no fortune of any kind. But I never dreamed for a moment of allowing that to stand in my way. Oh. I suppose I must give my consent.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Cecily, you may kiss me.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
You may also address me as Aunt Augusta for the future.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
The marriage, I think, had better take place quite soon.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
To speak frankly, I am not in favor of long engagements. They give people the opportunity of discovering each other's character before marriage. Which I think is never advisable.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you, Lady Bracknell, but this engagement is quite out of the question. Miss Cardew is my ward, and she cannot marry without my consent until she comes of age. That consent I absolutely decline to give.
Upon what grounds, may I ask? Algernon is an extremely, I may almost say, an ostentatiously eligible man. He has nothing, but he looks everything. What more can one desire?
Oh, it pains me very greatly to have to speak frankly to you, Lady Bracknell, about your nephew, but the fact is that I do not approve at all of his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful.
Untruthful? My nephew, Algernon, impossible.
I am afraid there can be no possible doubt about the matter. This afternoon, he obtained entry into my home under the false pretense of being my brother. He succeeded over the course of the afternoon in alienating the affections of my only ward. He subsequently stayed to tea and devoured every last muffin. And what makes his conduct all the more heartless is that he has known perfectly well from the first that I have no brother, that I never had a brother, and that I never intended to have a brother, not even of any kind. I distinctly told him so yesterday afternoon.
Mr. Worth, after careful consideration, I have decided entirely to overlook my nephew's conduct to you.
That is very generous. However, my own decision on the matter is unalterable. I decline to give my consent.
Come here, sweet child. How old are you, dear?
Well, I'm really only 19, but I always admit to 20 when I go to evening parties.
You are quite right in making some slight alteration. Indeed, no woman shall be quite accurate about her age. It always looks so calculating. I think it is not good to be old before you are of age and free from the restraints of tutelage. So, I don't think your guardian's consent is, after all, a matter of any importance.
Pray excuse me for interrupting you again, Lady Bracknell, but it only feels fair to tell you that, per the terms of her grandfather's will, Cecily's hand in marriage is mine to decide upon.
My dear Mr. Worthing, I would beg of you to reconsider your decision.
Oh, but my dear Lady Bracknell, the decision is entirely in your hands. The moment you consent to my marriage to Gwendolyn, I will gladly allow your nephew to form an alliance with my ward.
You must be quite aware that what you propose is out of the question.
Then a passionate celibacy is all any of us can look forward to.
That is not the destiny I propose for Gwendolyn. Algernon, of course, can choose for himself. Come, dear, we will decide about 6 trains already. To miss any more might expose us to comment on the platform.
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
The christenings! Sir! Is that not somewhat premature?
Both these gentlemen expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
At their age? The idea is grotesque and irreligious. Algernon, I forbid you to be baptized. I will not hear of such excesses.
Am I to understand that there are to be no christenings at all this afternoon?
I don't think that as things are now, it would be of much practical value to either of us, Dr. Chorley.
I'm grieved to hear you speak of such sentiments, Mr. Worthing. However, as your present mood seems to be one peculiarly secular, I shall return to the church at once. Indeed, I've just been informed by the pew opener that for the last hour and a half, Miss Prism has been waiting for me in the vestry.
Oh, Miss Prism! Did I hear you mention a Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I'm on my way to join her.
Pray, allow me to detain you for a moment. this matter may prove to be one of vital importance. Is this Miss Prism a female of repellent aspect, remotely connected with education?
She is the most cultivated of ladies and the very picture of respectability.
It is obviously the same person. May I ask what position she holds in your household?
Celibate, madam.
Lady Bracknell, Miss Prism has been for the last 3 years Cecily's valued companion and esteemed governess.
In spite of what I hear about, I must see her at once. Let her be sent for.
She approaches. She is nigh.
I was told you expected me in the vestry, Dr. Chotherall. I've been waiting for an hour and 3/4.
Prism! Come here, Prism! Prism! Where is that baby? Many years ago, Prism, you left Lord Bracknell's house, number 104, up Grosvenor Street, in charge of a baby carriage that contained a baby of the male sex. You never returned. A few weeks later, through the elaborate investigations of the Metropolitan Police, the baby carriage was discovered at midnight, standing by itself in a remote corner of Bayswater. It contained the manuscript of a 3-volume novel of more than usual revolting sentimentality, but the baby was not there. Prism! Where is that baby?
Lady Bracknell, I am in with shame that I do not know. I only wish that I did. The plain facts of the case are these. That morning, a day that is forever blended in my memory, I prepared as usual to take the baby out in the carriage. I haven't used so much old yet capacious handbag in which I planned to place a manuscript of a work of fiction I had been writing in my few unoccupied hours. In a moment of mental abstraction, for which I can never forgive myself, I deposited the manuscript in the bassinet and placed the baby in the handbag.
But where did you place the handbag?
Do not ask me, Mr. Worthing.
Miss Prism, this is a matter of no small importance to me. I insist you tell me where you deposited the handbag that contained that infant.
I left it in the cloakroom of one of the large railway stations in London.
What railway station?
Victoria! Great and mine!
I must have tried my room for a moment when you were here for me.
If you're not too long, I'll wait for you all my life.
What do you think all this means, Lady Bracknell?
Oh, I dare not even suspect Dr. Joseph. I need hardly tell you, in families of high position, strange coincidences are not supposed to occur. They are hardly considered the thing.
Uncle Jack is strangely agitated.
Your guardian does have a very emotional nature.
His sound is extremely unpleasant. It sounds as if he was having an argument. I dislike arguments of any kind. They're always vulgar and often convincing.
It has stopped now.
I wish he knew right at some conclusion.
The suspense is terrible. I hope it lasts.
Is this the handbag, Miss Prism? Examine it carefully before you speak. The happiness of more than one life depends on your answer.
It does seem to be mine. Oh, yes! Right here, my initials are on the lock. I had forgotten that in an extravagant mood I had them placed there. Oh, this is undoubtedly my bag. How delightful to have it so unexpectedly restored to me. It has been a great inconvenience not having it all these years.
Miss Prism, more is restored to you than this handbag. Mother!
Mr. Worthing, I am unmarried.
Unmarried? I do not deny that's a serious blow. But after all, who can cast a stone against one who has suffered? Can a repentance wipe out natural folly? Why should there be one law for men and another for women? Mother, I forgive you.
Mr. Worthing, there is some error. I am the one who can tell you who you really are. That is a lady that can tell you who you really are.
Do you think this came with the house?
Lady Bracknell, I hate to seem inquisitive, but would you kindly inform me of who I am?
I am afraid that the news I have to give to you will not altogether please you. You are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Algy's elder brother! Then I have a brother after all. I always said I had a brother. Since they haven't figured out for a moment I had a brother. Come on. Oh, Dr. Chasuble, my unfortunate brother. Miss Prison, my unfortunate brother. Gwendolyn, my unfortunate brother. My Algy, young scoundrel. You don't have to treat me with more respect in the future. Why, you never behaved to me like a brother in all your life.
Well, not today, old boy, I admit. I did my best, though I was out of practice.
No. But what are you? What is your Christian name now that you've become someone else?
Good heavens, I had quite forgotten that point. Your decision on the subject of my name is unalterable, I suppose.
I never change, except in my affections.
It doesn't matter when you did up once. Aunt Augusta. At the time when Miss Prism left had I been christened already?
Every luxury money could afford, including christening, had been lavished on you by your fond and doting parents.
Then I was christened, that settles it. Now what name was I given? Let me know the worst.
Being the eldest son, you were naturally christened after your father.
Yes, but what was my father's Christian name?
No? Oh, I cannot recall. But the general's Christian name was. But I happen to doubt he had a name. He was eccentric, I admit, but that was only in later years, and that was a result of the Indian climate and marriage and Indian dressing and other things of that kind.
Algy, you must recollect what my father's Christian name was.
Oh, my dear fellow, we were never even on speaking terms. He died before I was a year old.
His name would appear in the army list of the period, I suppose, Aunt Augusta.
Oh, I have no doubt his name would appear in any military directory.
The army lists of the last 40 years are there! Conveniently at the table with that person. You've had them all this time and said nothing, and Melanie, you didn't tell them. All night. This record should be the subject of my constant study. Generals. Macari, Mabel, what ghastly names they have. Alexander, McAllister, Moncrief! Lieutenant 1840, Captain, Lieutenant Colonel, Colonel General 1869, Christian names. I can't. It's far too stressful. You read it.
You're going to trust a party guest for such an important moment?
Earnest, John.
I always told you Gwendolyn inside if my name was Ernest, I'd be Ernest all along. Is Ernest.
Yes, I remember now. The general was called Earnest. I knew I had some particular reason for disliking that name.
Ernest, my own Ernest. I knew from the first you could have no other name.
Gwendolyn, it's a terrible thing for a man to suddenly find out that all his life he's been speaking nothing but the truth. Can you ever forgive me?
I can. For I feel sure that you can change.
Gwendolyn, my own one.
Ernest at last!
Letitia!
Frederick at last!
Destiny!
Algernon! Ella!
My love? Don't miss out.
time in my life the vital importance of being